very excited about the chance to play our final home game in the Rose Bowl against a Colorado team coming off a big win. Excited about correcting the things that plagued us against Utah, coming back and playing a complete game and seeing if it's good enough to keep us where we are, which is still in control of our fate with respect to the South Division. It's a exciting time and one that we want to get out on the practice field as soon as possible and you know, look forward to playing our best football game this weekend and hopefully up to that task. Questions?
What did you get out of your time in Colorado? What's special about
Well, excuse me, anytime you get your first head coaching job, that's extremely special. But what I would say to you is, and this is true of each of the chances that I've had as a coach, whether it be here as an assistant or Colorado, both as an assistant and head coach, and then in Washington, is the relationships that you forge with players and coaches alike. I think that's why people rarely leave this profession voluntarily, because you grow close to folks that you go through that kind of process with. So, you know, Cordell Stewart and Michael Westbrook and all the other guys that I had the great fortune to coach while I was there, you know, are still great memories for me.
What are you going to say to Taylor about how to handle this week?
You know, I think Taylor has kind of known this was coming for a while, and I think he anticipates the emotion that'll go through. What Taylor needs to do, and this is true of Taylor at all times, you know, he's an emotional player, is to keep those in check and just play methodically. When Taylor plays methodically, he's darn good. It's when he gets going and trying to do things that are outside the realm of the offense is when we get in trouble. You know, the play that he made against Stanford when he tried to make that return in a situation that clearly called for a fair catch was him trying to do too much. So we just need him to relax. It's actually going to be one of those things that his family will look back on, and because it's unique, and it'll be a positive memory. And so he doesn't need to worry about that portion of it. We just need to make sure his last game at the Rose Bowl, as in a home uniform, is a fantastic memory for him.
Any update on Coleman?
Think he'll be fine. Sore, but certainly functional today, and so he's listed now as probable. Just got hit on the hip, you know, and with the other hip guy we have is Zumwalt, and we think Zumwalt will make it back too, although he's still nursing it a little bit.
Pretty much clear that Dietrich's probably done for the year.
I think that's probably safe to say. You know, Dietrich is still looking for other opinions, but you know, the safety is the primary concern there, and we'll just see how that process develops. But we're looking after Dietrich and making sure that he's fine. But I think that's probably safe to say, Chris.
Any idea when Chris Ward surgery?
Hopefully soon. I don't know the scheduling behind that, but certainly, hopefully before finals.
What happened with Tony? Was he not cleared to play on?
He was cleared. He just hadn't practiced. And the last thing we want to do is have his first hit be in game action. What we'd prefer is that he try and see what that feels like here this week, and then we'll see where we are. But he was available in an emergency situation.
So it wasn't just he got a lot of reps last week, so it was just no contact reps with the pro.
Exactly.
Is Richard upgraded to probable? Yeah.
He's been updated to probable. He actually took a couple team reps last week on Thursday. We were over in the far field. I don't know if any of you noticed, but he will start to get more team reps this week, and we'll see exactly where he is.
Anything about Colorado that was a particular concern?
Well, you know, they're coming off a win. They're excited about you know, their new staff. They've got you know, a lot of enthusiasm. They play extremely hard. A number of their players, as is the case almost every week that we play, are from here. So it's going to be exciting for them to play at home, and it's always exciting for anybody who gets a chance to play in the Rose Bowl if they've not had that opportunity. So those are all motivating factors that we kind of got to battle every week. But this week, you know, nearing the end of their season, they're going to let it fly.
With Tony now, you said he was cleared last week. What makes him questionable at this point?
Well, he was cleared because he says he feels fine, but he has yet to have contact. And so what we need to do is make sure that the contact doesn't bring back the symptoms. You know, he's been told a number of times that you have to let it rest for a while before you start to have contact again. And so he wants to test it. You know, he's of the mind that he'd like to finish with his seniors, the guys that he came in with, and you know, so we'll see where he is. But we didn't want to have that first blow be in game action if, in fact, that it's going to reveal that he's not available. So then he still has the option to redshirt, you know, a year and try to play again next year. But his first choice would be to help us finish this season.
Where would he, with what's been established now with the safeties, where would he plug in?
That I can't tell you, Trace. It's a, you know, we've got with Dalton and Tevin and Stan, we've got three guys that have played really both. So where Tony plugs in, we'll have to wait and see.
Would you say that he's played well at free safety compared to the strong safety that he played last year?
Well, I think you have to temper that evaluation with the fact that he was playing hurt. So it's difficult to evaluate what he did this year at a free safety spot as compared to when he was healthy a year ago. If it were apples to apples, I would say that he was more had more impact as a strong safety, which is what he played up until this year. But I don't think it's apples to apples. I think we're playing with a hurt athlete.
Does he want to play this year? Does he want to retain the option of his?
He wants to play, and I've had that conversation with he and his family, and you know, obviously those are family decisions, as is the case with, you know, Akeem Ayers not being with us and Raheem Moore not being with us. They decided it was time for them to move on, and if he's made that mind up that he'd rather finish with us and then proceed, then if he's well, obviously it makes sense for him to go ahead and do that. But first things first always is the general welfare of the student athlete, and that's what we want to make sure.
So if he's healthy, your dealings with him is they've made the decision that he wants to finish?
My dealings with he and his dad, and which I'm assuming speaks for the family, is that they would like to continue. They would like to play if he's well.
There is a difference, though, between Akeem and Raheem, who were projected first or second round picks, and Tony, who already played his senior year. I mean, do you have to kind of almost coax him off the ledge going to the NFL?
You know, he's going to get the kind of information that's out there. There are going to be those that are going to tell him lots of things. I mean, he's a bright young man. His family, his father, Mark, is a bright guy. They know the whys and wherefores. They know all that stuff. Sometimes you start bringing a bunch of numbers and facts and figures and all that stuff. It looks like you're just trying to coax him to do just one thing. I want all the youngsters that play in this program to know that we support them. We try to make sure that they have the available information at their ready, but ultimately the decision's for them. And we'd love for them all to finish. You know, it's great to have guys stay 4 and 5 years and get their degrees and then move on. But obviously that opportunity is alluring.
The difference with Tony and Raheem and Akeem is that they had a period of time after the season was over to make this decision and still retain.
No, this is a unique deal, and we've been over that. But ultimately, the decision lies with Tony and the family.
Have you gone over the possibility if he goes to practice and takes some hits and still feels the symptoms, is he open to coming back next year and trying to get that registered?
Oh, I think so. You know, we've had the if this, then that. We've had that discussion. You know, ultimately, it's about his health, and we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
What was Utah able to do that limited your run game in ways that it hasn't been limited in the prior 2 weeks?
Well, I think they were. We didn't get the quarterback out on the edge as much. Some of that because of what they did, and some of it because I don't know that we were as aggressive as we probably needed to be. And some of that might have been the footing. You know, the concern that you weren't going to be able to outrun people because of the traction of the evening, especially during the first half and into the third quarter. So that was part of it, and you know, give them credit. They did a nice job of playing good, stout defense. Without lost yardage, we still had, you know, 170 yards. You know, we had to subtract some of the sack yardage from that, but we didn't muster up what we had been mustering up with the quarterback, and that's pivotal. You know, and if teams are not going to let the quarterback, then we've got to make sure that the read player, the one that the quarterback is reading, isn't in on tackles, and ultimately that's where the rubber meets the road.
You're trying to play catch up in a game like that, though. Is the pistol kind of hard to erase deficits like that?
We have the wherewithal to get out of the pistol and throw the ball, and went up and down the field. Unfortunately, we didn't get it in the end zone, and we've got to be better at throwing the football. There's no question about it. That it was not a night that any of us are proud about with respect to throwing and catching and route running and all the different things that go into it. And you say what you will about the field, but you know, both teams have to play on it. We have to be able to play throw and catch.
Does that make you try and get Richard ready quicker this week or not?
Richard will be getting ready. That's not necessarily the reason Richard will be getting ready. Richard's getting ready because he's healthy.
How much of the concern is, you know, players looking at Colorado's record and kind of just counting?
We would be foolish. We would be absolutely foolish to consider that as anything other than motivation for them. You know, this is going to be a slugfest. This is going to be a team that's going to play with reckless abandon, that has nothing to lose, that's going to come in here and excited about coming to Los Angeles, as I said, a home for many of them. And we have got to match fire with fire, and hopefully our fans are understanding of that as well. I hope they come out and support us like they did in each of the last couple of home games. Everybody good? All right, thank you.